injury incidents in federal prisons have more than tripled since Ashley Smith's death.
In 2012, there were 264 men and women in prison for self-harm.
Whose self-harming added up to over 900 reported incidents.
Ashley is not typical of other female federal prison inmates who chronically self-harm.
A disproportionate number of inmates who self-harm are Aboriginal.
According to Howard Sapers, a correctional investigator, 7 of the 8 worst cases of self-harming were First Nations. All had been diagnosed with mental illness. Most spent their childhoods in youth homes and foster care and were estranged from their families. Some were diagnosed with fetal alcohol syndrome.
Chronic self-harming female inmates are still treated with security-focused responses, such as pepper spray, segregation, physical restraints, and institutional transfers.
Which only exasperates the psychological problem.
Correctional officers don't have the training to manage prisoners with severe mental health disorders.
Nor should anyone expect them to, since they work in a prison, not a mental health facility. The average shift ranges between 8 and 12 hours, with wages between $24 and $32 an hour.
The only training is an 8-week program that includes topics such as orientation, effective communication, inmate management and intervention techniques, and workplace safety and security.
Training required for managing prisoners, but not useful for treating people with severe mental health illnesses.
Suicide is the leading cause of death in prisons in Canada.
Stop! Please, everyone, stop. While I can't claim to know what Ashley went through, I can identify with the storytelling. Her life and her trauma are being shared to accomplish something. My family shares our story to inspire other families to cherish each other, to live each day as if it were their last together, to help other families going through what we went through, and find who can we help by sharing Ashley's story? How can we move forward by sharing Ashley's story? Furthermore, who are we forgetting? How are we going to cope with the trauma of watching someone die? What can we do to help guards who have to remove a body from the cell? Who have to make the phone call to her parents? How are her parents able to cope with the loss of their only child? How do you learn to live and love again after trauma?
Ashley Smith's death exposes the holes in our justice system, our legal approach, and our treatment of prisoners. I am interested because this shapes politics, law, and society. In his closing remarks at the inquest, the coroner, Dr. John Carlisle, stated,
We must not deceive ourselves into thinking this is the end of the required action. These recommendations are not the end. They are just the start of the needed reform process of the Canadian Correctional Service that our jury has so ably identified.
The time for words is now over. We look forward to action in the near future.
It's in the hands of the public.
us. Now this is important.
To be diligent in ensuring our government makes necessary reforms in a broken system, and to ensure the jurors' recommendations are taken seriously.
One of the 104 recommendations made by the jurors was to use Ashley's death as a case study in training new correctional officers. As Corley Smith stated, so that no one else like Ashley has to suffer.
And to never forget what can happen in a broken system.
A broken system.
rebirth,
She was born in winter.
and died in the fall.
Less than a kilometer from her colorless, windowless cell.
The trees along the Grand River were nearing the end of their vibrant autumn heat.
Nature's clock was chiming.
Colored leaves resembling flames of fire.
dancing pirouettes towards their demise.
Decaying leaves foreshadowing the arrival of a long, cold winter.
blowing away the traces of summer.
Guards witnessing the whispering sounds of her past dreams.
Of paper routes, adventures with Harry Potter, skating on the ice upon the Centennial Park, long drives with her mom played upbeat dance music and M&M, bicycle rides around the downtown streets and trails near the farmhouse, basketball games on her driveway, and long walks with her German Shepherd Beau along the Patagonia River.
As the guards looked on,
As feet looked on, the river of sorrow grew as cold as hearts.
The soul like a dried sheep.
Bound up at length for harvesting.
But the harvest never came.
She was born in winter.
No warm sun to thaw her January heart.
She died in autumn.
Transcending into a permanent sleep.
With the fall of the leaves.
Death, coming as a languid grief.
This is important to me because we need a safe space to talk about mental health. I am interested because Ashley Smith's death exposes how mental illness is treated in our prison system.
I am interested because mental health is a serious issue in Canada.
I am interested because everyone knows someone who suffers from mental illness.
I am interested because the mental health concerns are always growing.
I'm interested because it's important for people to be aware of what can happen when someone's just a number in an institution.
I'm interested because it shows what happens to people when you take hope away from them.
I'm interested because I know what it feels like to be alone and what that can do to the individual.
I'm interested because no one has to go through it alone.
I am interested because one size fits all should be a label on a pair of socks, not an institution.
I am interested because mental illness affects everybody.
I'm interested